First thing I tell my students the first day of class is that if they're in my class, they have to know that I want them to take away the basic concepts and to be able to think about them and use them and apply them. I don't want them just to learn definitions or just theories. So what I really want them to take away is the combination of all of these theories, or maybe they believe more in one than the other, and to be able to look around and say, well, I see that as I observe personality. But I also tell them a little psychology is not always a good thing. You have to be careful. You don't go out there, diagnosing people and such. But to be able to think about it, to explore it, to think about themselves and how their personality came to be. And, the other debate is personality fixed? 5 years, that's it. That would be a Freudian way of thinking about it. Or is personality something that's always unfolding and being reevaluated and growing throughout the lifetime? So it's important to think about that and to think about that within yourself. How have you changed, and what were the contributing factors to changing aspects of your personality? The challenge with this course, the way I see it, is that if you look at all the textbooks, it's very theoretical and research, but every theorist out there has a way to interpret the development of personality. And, I think the challenge is to get away from the dryness of theory and make it real. So, I cover all of the theories, but I also cover topics like gender and psychology of love and hate, culture. And then I also bring in the personality disorders. So I'm trying to take the theory and apply it to topics, and then look at the extremes and what goes wrong and how one ends up with a disorder. If you look at the nature-nurture debate, it's a little bit, maybe other people will not agree with me, but I think it's a little bit outdated, in that most people today believe there's a combination. Where there's some discrepancy is, how much does biology play and how much does the environment play? And these different theories are picking up on different aspects of that. But, it really, if you look at neurology and then you look at, just what we know with the neurotransmitters these days, I think most people will agree that our neurotransmitters affect our behavior in the environment, but the environment also influences those neurotransmitters. So you've got this complex interaction between these two things taking place, as well as all the other factors. So it's really hard. Always the first day of class I'll say, what is personality? It's really hard to define it. It's what makes us unique, but, you can't sort of pinpoint it and come up with a recipe. I believe that if somebody wants to change something and they work hard at trying to change it, they can change it. I think sometimes, however, that when someone is in a stressful environment, and the literature supports this, particularly when it comes to temperament and anxieties, right? When someone's put in that stressful environment, sometimes they revert back to those earlier ways of coping, right? But for the most part, I think we do grow based on our experiences. We do change, and there's the developmental stages and, the influences that come from them. I mean, certainly a young child is going to be very different in their expression of characteristics than someone towards the end of their life, right? They're usually calmer, biology's calming down, and so I think, we have to look at all of that stuff. I always tell students in psychology that there usually is no right or wrong. And, one of the downsides of psychology for some people is when they're looking for a concrete answer, they're probably not going to get it. Because for every theorist, for every aspect of personality, for example, every theory is going to have a different way of explaining it. But you begin to see a lot of overlap, because they are interconnected and they're all different aspects of the person. So, I try to encourage them not to think about right and wrong, to think about, how you might understand who this person is based on where they came from and their experiences. you know, including development, including culture, including their social environment, even their economical environment, their work experience or not, school experiences. But I love the students. And, you know, I think what really draws me to them is the fact that they're non-traditional for the most part. You know, they're diverse. And I was a non-traditional student myself, you know. And I find that, you know, for the most part, they want to learn, you know, and if they want to learn, they bring out the best in me. So, you know, I really enjoy them. And they bring their own contributions to the classroom because they do have experience, you know, and they have come from other cultures and other ethnic groups and social environments. So, you know, I try to encourage them to contribute to the class as much as I can.